Trump issued an executive order on February 7th for the U.S. to resettle Afrikaner refugees.
Listening to Caroline Levitt again, every time she does a news conference, I get so much more stuff. Okay. Question was asked during this press conference, what about the Afrikaners? Okay, Afrikaners, South Africa, white people. Used to run the country, mostly from Dutch origins.
The president has shown support for South African refugees that are coming to the United States next week. Can you talk about what these refugees are fleeing and why this is a priority for the administration?
Well, the president has actually signed an executive order on that matter. My office can get it back to you, Michael. But this group in South Africa has faced racial persecution. In fact, the government there has vowed to take away their farmland that they own. And so the president has talked significantly about this.
These people are getting refugee status here in the United States. Not only are they getting refugee status, they're getting it very quickly. Trump signed an order in February making an exception. See, he'd signed a executive order early in his administration stopping all the refugees from coming. But he made an exception for white South Africans. Now, are they really refugees? Well, of course not. Stephen Miller says he is. You can listen to that.
Well, because what's happening in South Africa fits the textbook definition of why the refugee program was created. This is persecution based on a protected characteristic, in this case, race. So this is race-based persecution.
But they're not really refugees. They are being threatened, maybe, of having their land confiscated by the government. Okay, probably the reasoning behind this is white people pretty much raped that country for literally centuries. Took whatever it had, took it in white hands, and made a lot of money for a lot of white people. Well, I don't think they should necessarily take their land away. But this is not a refugee. If you want to talk about refugees, listen to this.
Well, shortly after taking office, President Trump suspended the nation's refugee resettlement program as part of the administration's wide-ranging crackdown on immigration. That has left tens of thousands of refugees in limbo, including Afghans fleeing the Taliban.
My family, my kids, they don't have future over there.
It's been 3.5 years since Mir Mohammed Asif Ansari last hugged his wife and 7 children. He, along with his brother, Mir Nasratullah Ansari, frantically left Afghanistan in 2021.
Now these guys, they got onto the plane from Afghanistan. They were able to get out, but they couldn't bring their families. Now they've been in limbo since 2021. Will they be allowed to bring their families here? Will they be allowed to stay? But you know, they don't really have the right color hair. And they're kind of dark-skinned. Yeah. Not like these South Africans. They're white guys. They should be able to come over here anytime they want to. And Trump is doing that. That is racist. Absolutely racist. People from Afghanistan, people that have far more need for refugee status, that actually are refugees, their life has been threatened. South Africans might maybe lose some of their land, but they get refugee status here. This is a racist regime. That's it on this one.